beautiful international soul tribe. Welcome to Symbolic Blueprints for Powerful Practices. My name is Judy Mackey, your host. Our podcast today is going to teach you how to use rituals and symbolism to incorporate more abundance and monetary gain in your life based on mysticism, feng shui principles, and mythology. The peacock has always been a symbol of money, and truly, this stems all the way back to the goddess Hera. She was the wife of Zeus, who was the leader of all gods and goddesses. And so Hera loved peacocks. And this came from her having a monster named Argus. Now, Argus was really unique because he had eyes all over his body and his tail, and he was a giant, so he could see for miles and miles. And naturally, that made him a really wonderful spy, a really wonderful watcher of all things. And so Hera was always jealous of Zeus's, little side love affairs and interests with mortal women and goddesses alike. And so she definitely called upon Argus several times to keep a watchful eye on Zeus to make sure that he was doing the right thing. And eventually Argus passed away in the line of doing his duty for Hera. She sent god Mercury in to trick Argus and soothe the giant beast into listening to him play music. And as his last eye fell asleep, he was killed. And so, in great sadness, Hera took the eyes off of Argus, and Zeus and Hera etched those eyes into the peacock. Now, it was said that Argus had 100 eyes, and they were so unique that they could see in all directions. So if you could imagine etching those eyes onto her favorite bird, the peacock, gave the peacock all of its splendor, all of its beauty. And in many other philosophies and mysticism and even religious beliefs, the peacock truly has been quite the symbol for longevity, abundance, and wealth. In particular, Laxmi, who is a Hindu goddess and also through Hindu mysticism, is highly associated with the peacock, as it is said that it has a watchful eye over one's finances. Although Krishna and also Saraswati are highly recognized as Hindu gods who also are associated with peacocks, for today's podcast, I'm going to stick with just the specific gods and goddesses that are associated directly with wealth and prosperity, which leads to Juno, the goddess of the Roman Empire, who is greatly equated to Hera, the queen of all goddesses, the wife of Zeus. Juno, the Roman Empire goddess, the wife of Jupiter, and also she who is greatly equated to Hera in those times, was also a wealth goddess. Ironically, Juno also was called Juno Moneta, and she was known as the goddess of money. She was the goddess of finances and the guardian of all financial institutions. In fact, the first Roman mint was basically constructed next to the temple of Juno. And in modern times, our use and terminology of minting a coin or using the term coin stems from the goddess Juno. In fact, due to the importance of Juno Moneta and the coins that we use in modern times, the late Queen Elizabeth II had a commemorative coin created to celebrate her Diamond Jubilee year. And on the commemorative coin, Queen Elizabeth II and Juno Moneta are both depicted looking side by side forward into the future. In feng shui, as you enter into your house and you're peering towards the very back of your dwelling, look at the very left-hand side. That is your wealth corner. It is considered the wealth bagua of the house. And this is where you want to place things that represent wealth and abundance. This is where you need to pay great attention to the symbolism located in this area. It's very important that you place symbolism there that represents wealth and abundance. For example, you would like to have something that's moving constantly, like pinwheels or lights that are flashing. You can have citrine, also known as the merchant stone, to bring money into your house. You could place a piggy bank back there. You could also put a petition asking the universe, your creator, whatever you believe in, to bring more money to you and your household. You can also place a money tree or a lucky bamboo or a schefflera plant back there, which happens to grow extremely fast. And that's the idea, is that you want your money to grow abundantly and as fast as possible. I've been doing feng shui now for over 20 years. And in my business, I cannot tell you how many times I go to someone's house and they have a fireplace or a bathroom in the wealth bagua area. And you might ask yourself, why would this be a problem? Well, a fireplace is symbolically saying that your money is being burned up. If you have a lot of candles in your wealth bagua area, it also represents that you're burning your money. And so therefore it's used up really quickly. It's like you can't keep your hands on the money that you earn. It just all goes away so fast. If you have a bathroom back there, it's probably saying you're flushing your toilet and the money's going down the drain with it. So how can we fix these issues and maybe some others that you're thinking in the back of your mind? If you have a fireplace in your wealth bagua area, no worries. There's a simple fix for this. In fact, it's called a feng shui cure. And what you would need to do is simply place a mirror on the mantle above the fireplace, or place something that represents water, like maybe a picture of an ocean or a lake, and that will counteract all of the fire that's symbolically burning up your money. Starts to having a bathroom in the left-hand corner at the very back of your house in the wealth bagua sector. I highly recommend that you keep the toilet seat lid down and that you follow a ritual that I give all of my clients, and I'm going to give it to you today with the hopes that this is going to stop the money loss and actually promote money gain. But before I do that and give you the information, I want to explain to you the why behind it. Think of money like currency. As you give it, you also take back. And so it's kind of like a feedback loop. I often tell my clients that it's like electric current. You know, electrical circuits, in particular, the simple circuit, it's nothing but a feedback loop. And if you know an electrician, they'll tell you that the switch, the on and off switch, is nothing but a gap that comes in between the continuous simple circuit. And that's what shuts the lights on and off, or the power on and off. It's that gap. It's the switch. And with that said, it's the same principle in healthcare. When you think of homeostasis through feedback systems, you have a positive feedback and a negative feedback system. And if one is not working appropriately, the other one kicks in until homeostasis is realized. So here's a ritual that you can perform in your house to prevent the loss of money. All you're going to need is some red string or a red marker. And you're going to go into every bathroom in your house every place that you have a sink, every place that you have a washer, every place that you have a bathtub, even outside where there's a spigot, and you're going to tie a red string around the drain pipe or around the fixture. And if you can't do that because you don't have string, please use a red marker and just draw in the complete circumference around the plumbing. And you might ask yourself, why would I do this? Well, first of all, red represents fire. It also represents a red flag, like, hey, pay attention to this. It's basically saying I'm putting a stop to leaked energy. And you'll notice that Buddhists have a tendency to wear a simple red string around their wrists. It has the same type of energy. It's saying, I am putting a stop to any kind of energy loss from my body. And what I'm doing is I'm promoting nothing but good, beneficial abundance into my life. And much like the red string Buddhist bracelets that are blessed in order to stop the loss of energy and to increase the life force and abundance in their lives, anytime that you do a ritual, especially when it comes to feng shui, it needs to be blessed as well. So in order not to offend anyone, because let's face it, we all have many different beliefs, I will just use the word creator. And with that said, I would simply just ask the creator to please bless what I have just performed in my dwelling by stopping the loss of money and promoting the manifestation of abundance and wealth. I think it's extremely important to make sure that peacock feathers are placed in the wealth bagua because it highly represents many wealth goddesses, to include Hera, to include Juno, to include Laxmi. The color purple also is associated with wealth, as only royalty used to wear the color purple. And so with that said, I would include peacock jewel tone colors and also the color purple in my wealth bagua area. The peacocks are one of the only animals on earth that can eat poisonous things and not be harmed. I think this speaks volumes about the type of energy that we would want to promote in the wealth area. Meaning, if something has occurred that has attacked your financial stability, you will land on both feet. So as we're coming to a close with this bi-weekly podcast episode, I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in. Many blessings and abundance to all of you. Please go out to my website at www.judymackeyinternational.com if you have any questions or would like to leave podcast episode feedback. Please stay tuned for our podcast closing disclaimer. Our podcast disclaimer and the content posted by Judy Mackey or any of her guests is presented solely for general information, educational, and entertainment purposes. Use of information on this podcast or materials linked from this podcast to our website are not intended to be used for medical, mental health, legal, or financial advice.